Good evening, it's 8:30 and welcome to the Man United Agenda. I'm joined by two of my favourite panellists. That'll be Eddie Football Waffle and Brush, and we're doing a preview show for Sunday, 7 p.m. We're going to Everton. How's everyone doing? This is the Man United Agenda. I hope you're tuning in and pressing the like button. Before we start, we got some great news. We got a new sponsor, and that is GMS Global Mapping Surveys. Now, we're sponsored by them. One of our colleagues, Adam, runs this business. It's a mapping survey company. Currently assists architects, property developers, and construction companies all over the country. They offer a wide range of services such as setting out topographical surveys, 3D laser scanning, monitoring. The link is in the description for the website and contact details. So if you want to know more about GMS, just check them out. They're in the comments, in the details there for you guys. Big up to GMS in cooperation with Man United Agenda, and also in cooperation with Man United Agenda is our man Eddie. He's back. Eddie, how you doing, bro?
Yeah,
Eddie, I'm asking you just a quickie on this, because obviously games are coming thick and fast now.
Yeah.
We're going to touch on the game yesterday, but is it a relief to get those 3 points again, or are you sort of going to analyze the performance and think, I'm pissed off?
I mean, if we're getting into it now, yeah, it was good to get the result on paper. Obviously, you know what I mean. Like, you've got to recover with a win from that embarrassment. That's all that was against Man City. It was a sheer embarrassment. I don't think there was much to take from that game, but yeah, I mean, one of the positives is that Man United had like a lot of chances, right, against that team that they should be beaten. Is that the only thing is that they need to calibrate converting the chances really. In terms of gameplay, I mean, I only watched the second half. It seemed to become about like Ronaldo, whether he was going to finish. Like the amount of times, like there's so many histrionics with Ronaldo, like just like the body language and everything like that. But it was good to see Ronaldo and Martial come on. I think those are the real positives for the game. I think is Rashford, Martial looking sharp, coming on, getting those finishes that were emphatic. That's what we need to see against Everton, an emphatic display. Yeah.
Big up, man. Big up. Eddie, I appreciate that. I'm sort of on the same page as you as always. I wonder if Brush is on the same page as us as well. Brush, are you relieved to get the 3 points? Do you think we were sweating a lot? And what do you think of that performance there yesterday?
Absolutely. We made it a lot more difficult than it needed to be, Omundi. At halftime, I was quite stressed out. Just relieved to get the 3 points, to be honest. And like Eddie touched on with regards to Ronaldo, I mean, at moments it felt like a testimonial almost. We all wanted him to score. He wanted to score so badly. You could tell how frustrated he was. It was a strange evening for him.
Just on the intro side of things, just want to ask you guys a quick question before we move on to like the Everton game and thing. What do you think about the harmony at the club? Like 10 games in now, how many games you played? What do you think about the harmony? Because I'm seeing man trying to tee up Ronaldo when Ronaldo wasn't really on side before the season started because he wanted to leave. Do you think they go into training, they're all happy? Do you think do you think they're on the same page? Do you think they believe in the manager? What would you say about that, guys?
I mean, for me, I'm in a place where, I like my kind of mindset, I'm kind of pessimistic. Like I need a lot of evidence to get me on side, really. So for me, that 6-3, that's hard for me to forget right now. Yeah, I mean, the harmony was looking good in the previous games, right? 4 wins in a row, and it looked like five wins, right? So it looked like we know what we're doing, especially in defense. It looked like we knew what we were doing, and then all of a sudden, it's like, I know Man City are good, but I think we should have done well to stifle them a bit more. And all of a sudden, we're conceding 8 in 2 games, so that's going to disrupt the harmony a bit. So like Ten Hag saying in his press conference, mentality in terms of consistency is going to come over several months, but we cannot see what we saw in that last game again. I'm just hoping Ten Hag's been the drill sergeant that he was after the Brentford game, where he got these guys to make up the running that they didn't do that Brentford did. Like there's only so much running you can do. So hopefully, I don't know if we still got a psychologist at Man United, because that's what these guys need. We need to really be in that mindset where if we're not going to get the win. We're at least fighting, making it hard because, sorry, against Man City, that was more embarrassing than last season for me. So I'm hoping they're in harmony still.
Hold on a minute. But Brush, we had 5 games on the trot going into that game. We're not going to beat Man City. So what do you think about the harm?
Yeah, listen, I'm slightly more optimistic. I will say that going into that game, as atrocious as it was, you have to keep in mind as well, that all of our momentum went out the window with the postponements of the fixtures. So we had, no real chance to build anything going into that. And then you take on one of the best teams in the country with arguably the best striker in the world at the moment. And, it's a recipe for disaster. I want to look at one or two of the positives. The fact that Martial came on and made an impact. Anthony's finish was fantastic. It's still so very early days, Omundi. I don't want to get too disheartened. Obviously, there will be losses, and it's about the manner in which you lose. And that obviously was not acceptable against Man City. But I'm sure we'll build on it.
Okay, just to reply a little bit to that. Like, I hear the excuse of we had the break, but so did Man City. They had the break of, I think it was 2 weeks, something like that. So they had their momentum stopped as well to a certain point. I just don't think there's enough of an excuse.
Listen, Pep's been there for how long? Pep's been there for how long? 6 years.
Huh?
That's a very settled team, bro. They know each other inside out. What's our thing? Like we've got a back 4 for the first time. We can name a back 4 that's our first 11 back 4, and for about a month now we've known that. Right. What are we saying here?
Just one.
Hold on. Go on, Eddie.
I was going to say one more thing. Yeah, even though physically we stopped playing, on the mind there should have been confidence there to make it harder for these guys. That's what I'm saying about that.
Guys, we're still on the intro, and I want to ask one final question. All right, what do you think about Ten Hag? What he feeds back to the media and we feed back to the fans? Is he saying the right things? Because I'll just read out. He's saying we need intensity in every game. That's the difference between us and City. We have to take responsibility for that. And you mentioned earlier as well about the work that he didn't do against Brentford and having to go like a taskmaster, drill sergeant, go and do the work again. How do you feel overall now? We've got time to assess it now because we can make a good judgment. You always like evidence. There, Eddie. There's enough evidence there now and time to see. Are you happy the way he talks to the media and the fans?
Have you got any quotes to his answer towards because you got asked about mentality? Have you got his quote there to read out?
We know I can roughly sort of work out for the last few weeks. He's been saying things like we need to be mentally on it for every game. To win every game, we need to be on it every game. It's just he repeats the same sort of thing, and which is clear. It's like he's not like floppy, is he? He's always consistently saying the intensity has to be there every game, the mentality has to be there, they have to take responsibility, all the key things that he's saying. So I'm just asking, are you happy with him, or do you ever sigh and think, shut up when he's talking, making excuses? Some managers make excuses, don't they? Are you happy with the way Ten Hag comes over?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think real quick about this, because I did say earlier, he was saying it's going to take months to really instill a proper, consistent mentality. That can't be a wrong thing. That goes without saying. But for me, I've just got to say, like, overall, I'm good. I'm good with Ten Hag with what he's saying. He keeps it to the point. Yeah, he doesn't waffle. Maybe I want to hear more about the tactics, but then I know you don't want to give too much away for the other team to do research on you. But just in general, it's embarrassing a little bit for me that at Man United, we're talking about mentality. There should be a top team, right? Best legacy team winning 13 Premier Leagues. That should be a given. So it's like, we're going back to such basic things. These guys are paid enough, yeah? But anyway, coming back to the point, Ten Hag's not saying anything wrong for me. It's just he's got to get these lineups right now. I want to see Casemiro come on and be in that first team. But I think we're going to discuss that a bit later. But I don't think he's saying anything wrong at the moment.
All right, cool. Brush, you want to add to that? Are you happy just in general with the way he delivers his questioning, answers his questions, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with it, Omundi. I think patience is the key, and these things take time. And sometimes it can get boring and it might seem repetitive, but that's what it takes to achieve a level of consistency in terms of where we're trying to get to.
Okay. Listen, guys, we're talking about Everton. We got them this weekend, Sunday. I know everyone's going to be tuning in. We're doing a live watch along from my sofa, by the way, so that everyone tune in for that as well. Everton, let me just read out something here, which I find quite impressive. English goalkeeper. They got Coleman, Seamus Coleman, professional really experienced Premiership goal right back. Malachenko, the left back, naturally left-footed. He's just coming to the game now. After they sold their guy to Villa, they got Cody, who's maybe signing. They're talking about signing him on the full time. Tarkowski from Burnley. That's a good all Premiership players. In midfield now, they got a guy who's come back from PSG. Iwobi, who's been converted into a midfielder. Onana as well. Then they got McNeil, Mupai, and Gray or Gordon up front as a free. These are good players, I reckon. That's quite a decent team, really experienced team, Premiership team. So let's talk about Everton. Let's talk about their style, formation, and threats. So I'm going to start with you, Brush. What do you think about Everton? Because obviously we played a top team in City, played a sort of lesser team in Cyprus, and now we're going back to the Prem again. Is this a bit of a hiccup game for us? What do you think about them so far?
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a tricky one. Goodison Park isn't an easy place to go to, and if it was a couple of weeks ago, if they still had Solomon Rondon up top, I'd be less worried. But now Mopai actually gives them a threat up front and a focal point. Some of the players that stick out to me, that Onana looks very good. I've been impressed when I've seen Onana. Iwobi in the middle as well. I like what Lampard's doing with him. And defensively, they look a bit more solid now with that partnership developing with Cody and Tarkowski and Pickford.
Okay. What do you think, Eddie, about Everton? I mean, I've bigged them up. I've given them like a go and play man-for-man players. I know you said before the game they're unbeaten in 6, and I didn't know that. So overall, what do you think about their team, the West style of play, and their momentum at the moment?
I mean, I've not watched too much Everton this season, but like we can see from the stats, they're hard to beat now. They've actually got the best defense in the league. I think I was listening to that on a show before this. They've got like the best defense in the league, letting the least goals. But
yeah, I think they've let in 7 altogether already. It's because all the big teams have been conceding for fun this season.
Yeah, that's the thing. But at the same time, Everton don't really score that many as well. So maybe that's a good thing to take from them. So yeah, in terms of the playing style, it seems like they're compact. Then those signings they've made, Tarkowski and Cody, they're a revelation right now because they're making a relegation team more relevant now because they're mid-table. They're looking like, hopefully they don't keep on a run, but they're looking like they're going to keep going. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully Man United show up. The big thing I'm not liking is the last 3 games we've not beat them. They've got 1 win, 2 draws. So yeah, we're finding it hard to beat these guys. And obviously, hopefully Man United take confidence from the Ammonia game and just ignore the Man City game because it's an away game too. If it was a home game, I'd probably be more confident. But yeah, all I can say to wrap it up is that they're looking compact, and Man United are going to have to be on form. We're going to have to see these wingers, Sancho and Anthony, get more aggressive. I remember Ten Hag saying I think he was asked about whether the team needs to get nasty. We need to see Anthony and Sancho disrespect these guys at Everton. Start doing some dribbling, get the passing in, get the service to what I think will be Martial up front. I'm not sure if Ronaldo will start, but yeah, man, we need to see a reaction overall.
Okay, so one thing I think is important, what the manager keeps drilling, is the intensity. And obviously, when you go to Everton, a small pitch, they will be up for it. The spare fans will be up for it. And it'll be massive for Man United visiting them and they get a win against us. They always, like you said, they always seem to give us problems. So give or take, say we stand and we're supposed to be intense, we're supposed to go out there with a fire. Do you think we got enough to break a team like Everton down? And what are their threats towards us? I mean, Mopai, you mentioned Mopai earlier. Mopai doesn't really score many goals. When he was at Brighton, I've seen him missing some. He's, has an odd goal here and there. But he does, to me, any decent defender could be able to deal with him. He's not like Haaland, who might be stronger, faster. He hasn't got that much. A few tap-ins he might get, but that's down to the rest of the team. I don't see enough threat in Everton Football Club. My concern is breaking them down. What are your concerns, guys?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, Eddie, go on.
All right, yeah. So I was just going to say that, I look at the top scorer. It's Gordon with just 2 goals. So we need to really press. I think we need to be brave and press these guys because they are somewhat faltering up front. They're getting a good defense, but they're not really getting enough goals. Malpe's there. I think he got 1 goal. I think we need to treat them like the mid-table team they are. Really, you know, that obviously they're gonna fight for Lampard. That's the big thing that Lampard's done. Like people question his tactics and everything. But one thing is that he's got the mentality into this team. So we need to see Man United come. We need to press them. I want to see counter press, all this stuff. I want to see Ten Hag's fundamentals come in a bit more. I mean, yeah, it was necessary during that run where we were losing to make it tight, do a bit of counter attack. But I think now we've got to see more Ten Hag's fundamentals, like just get everyone used to trying to play that football, even if, dare I say it, we're taking another loss there. We've got to see more of this team growing into possession and, you know, just being more confident on the ball.
Can I just say, Bill Badger's saying that's my concern on Monday. They're only letting 7, best team in the league at the moment regarding defense. So, Brush, do you think that'd be the issue about breaking them down?
Yeah, they're going to be very, very compact. And like you said, Omundi, they do struggle with goals. The thing with Mopai is, you know, he should finish a lot more than he does. But what he will do is try and occupy our centre backs, you know, so and create space for others. So that's a worry. Mikalenko is another one who really likes to get forward. For me, we have to counter their threats and pretty much just do what we're really good at, which is hitting them on the counter. We've got the talent for that. We've got the pace and skill for that. Players like Martial and Rashford, this is the time for them to sign, for them to shine. Sancho, for me, should probably be dropped. I think he just needs a hug and some time to just reflect and recover.
I mean,
come on to that.
He's had a year to settle. Are we still wrapping this guy in what do you call it? Wrapping this guy in cotton wool?
No, it's not that. It's just that. Listen, his form obviously isn't there. He's our player, isn't it? What do you want us to do? All you can do is drop him.
We will come on to that because we're going to talk about Solo 11. So hold tight, guys. Solo 11 is coming out, and we can digest that and really go into it, see what we got. But let's just go through a few comments here because HG Gamer saying, I'm saying this with 100%, 1,000% chest. I'd rather play McTominay centre back on Sunday than Lindelof. Get out because Lindelof made a mistake the other day. It's really cool. Want to say hi to Big G. How you doing? He says, be saying so. Hi to Solo and surprised Fred's not in his starting 11. We'll soon find out. Matthew Bassett saying, I'm interested in knowing what Eric is saying to the players, not necessarily saying to the media or the fans. Solo said it would take about 2 years to get us to a certain level in the Premier League. Klopp, Pep, Arteta got that time. I want to say hi to Nobbins as well. Now go and check out Nobbins' channel, man. We had him on the other day for the Man City preview. We refused to let him on after the result because we couldn't take it. But Nobbins has got a really good football knowledge, really good City channel as well. So big up to you. He's saying, what did I have to say about Eriksen and McSauce against City and giving us the eyes? Yeah, all right, let's move on. Matthew Bassett saying, changing the players' mentality is key to getting us back to the top and competing against the likes of City, Liverpool, etc. Realist United, go and check out his channel. Big up, man. I've checked them out. They're on fire. I love what they're doing out there, all the way from Trinidad. We chat on Twitter. He's saying hello to everyone. Have a blessed day. Big up, guys. We've got HG Gamer again saying Everton's formation is a back 5. I think that was countered by someone later on. Matthew Bassett recalls Pep's first season at City. He finished 3rd, if he recalls, and it was surprised at the level. He was surprised by the level of the Premiership. It took him time to get City where he eventually got them, where they are at the moment. Stuart Marshall, how you doing, Stuart Marshall? He big up, man. He's been on the show a few times now. He goes to games. He said, "Will be a tough game on Sunday." Always is at Everton. Not a good record at Goodison as late. HG Gamers saying it isn't a back 5. Rashford and Martial should be too much for them. They're looking sharp. Sancho shouldn't play. Agrees with you there, Brush. Says HG Gamer. Big G saying young kid Gordon is definitely a threat. Good with the ball, makes runs from deep. Wish Bruno's more like him. You see it there? Football and Fitness United. How you doing, man? Welcome to the channel. You're saying we need the 3 points at all costs. You know, and finally, Stuart Marshall saying Garnacho should get some minutes. Look really good for you under 23s. Does anyone see that game?
No.
And Dukes, Marvin Dukes, how you doing? Says salute, chaps. I foresee another bad week for us because he's a Tottenham fan. Everton are building slowly. Yeah, I'm really surprised. Like before the game, I was looking at the thing. I think Everton, we should walk over them. But like you said, they're unbeaten. They've got a good defense and they're doing really well. Vincent, our Dutch correspondent, I always interested to see what he's got to say. This is the final comment. Keep them coming in, though, guys. He's saying when Ten Hag says intensity, he actually means the pressure and the in-between movement of the team. That is the reason for Anthony's average performance. This needs time. So keep the comments coming in, guys, because we're going in now to Solo's 11. Now, we talked about Everton. We know what they've got really at the moment, but it's all about Solo's 11 now. What have we got? How can we hurt them? Now, Solo, he picks a team every week. He predicted lineup based on his experience and knowledge. And it's usually, he's been going well lately. No one's really been frowning. What do you think about this, guys? De Gea in goal. Yep. De Gea in goal. Left centre back is Martinez. We've got Lindelof in there, centre back. We've got Dalot and Luke Shaw, which could be a surprise. Midfield 2. We used to have the midfield block of Eriksen and McTominay, but he's gone with Fred and Casemiro. Bruno is playing. That could be raising an eyebrow too. On the left, it's Sancho. Sorry, not Sancho. On the left, it's Rashford. And we've got the young boy Anthony and Martial up top. Thoughts, please. I'll start with you, Brush. What do you think about the Solos 11? And what would you do?
I like the look of that, I think one of the key things, obviously, is Eriksen missing. But I felt he looked quite tired yesterday, and he's probably in need of a rest. Personally, I would have rested him yesterday and played him against Everton. I would have prioritized him for the Premier League games opposed to Europa as well. But I like the look of that team. What
do you think about can we talk about the left back issue? Because we've been playing Malacia for a long time now, Brush.
Again, see, with Malacia, you need to keep in mind this young man has had 2 seasons of first team football under his belt in the Dutch league. Like, this is a big step up. So I've got no problem with utilizing Shaw if and when needed, and managing Malacia's minutes.
Okay, over to you, Eddie. You've had time to sort of have a look at this team.
Yeah.
Big G's saying here, we need someone better than Lindelof. Pick a few players, and what would you do?
I mean, just on the back of what Brush is saying, it's like this is why it makes it so challenging to be a manager, because Eriksen, he looks a bit tired. It's like maybe he should have been rested in that game, but it's like you don't want to lose that game because you got to think about momentum as well. So it's like you kind of understand why he did pick him. In terms of the lineup, I mean, Brush talked about Shaw. I mean, I agree on the Malacia point. I mean, he still needed to get experience in this division. For me, on the for the wings, Marcus Rashford, he's got to be in the team, whether it be up front or the wing. I agree with that, with him being in there. And then I remember one of the comments, someone talking about Garnacho. If some of these wingers don't show up again, we need to see some of these hungrier. I mean, I don't know if they're hungrier. I'm just assuming, because Garnacho's not getting minutes, obviously, but he's still young. But it's like, if we don't see dribblers doing their job, I mean, we don't see wingers doing their job, I want to see Garnacho come in as well. Maybe, just as a maybe, Martial definitely up front. This guy's on form, even though we're not really on form. I mean, 3 goals in his last 2. He's looking good. He's got to start. Anthony, I mean, he's got 2 goals in his last 3. Should have had an assist when he passed to Bruno against Ammonia. I think Bruno ran ahead of the play. I'm just thinking about that chance. Even though people are thinking he should have gone for goal, I reckon he should have gone for the pass as well. But against Ammonia, Omundi, just remind me, did we play a single pivot or was it the double pivot? Because I didn't watch the whole game.
It looked like Casemiro was playing deeper and he got Eriksen and Bruno slightly ahead of him. It's like maybe a 6 and 2 8s. That's how it looked like to me. And I did ask my colleague Pat, who watched the game as well on the show yesterday, and he agreed. But there shows a variation that we can play. We got the double blocks, the block with the 2 of them has been doing really well. It's just I don't wonder what your thoughts are on the midfield situation and the rotation.
I would really like us to go for the single pivot again, because we can have those 2 box-to-box players go up and down and help the attack. I think we're really suffering with saturating the attack. Like I said, Everton don't really score that much. So I want to see us be brave and try and really press with our box-to-box midfielders, rather than have the 2, the 2 holding midfielders.
Name names, Eddie. Who are the box-to-box midfielders you want in there? For example, Fred, Bruno. Who are the guys you'd put in there as 2 8s?
Right. So Van der Beek's injured. I would have had him in there because he's like I've been saying before, like on my videos or whether I've been on your channel. This guy, we know he's a Ten Hag student, but okay, injured, so he's out. Fred, I reckon he's looking hungry. Every time he's come on, he's looked like, energetic. We need energy in this game. So yeah, Fred box to box. Bruno, I'm not really liking Bruno, to be honest, in these past few games. I don't think he's efficient, but I'm not sure we got that many options.
We haven't really got the squad depth to rotate him out, though, isn't it? That's the problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. So, I mean, as long as he has the captain armband, I think he's going to start anyway. So he has to be in there. He has to try and play himself into form, listen to the coach, keep it simple. Let's not try this Hollywood ball all the time. So that's
he played a Hollywood ball to Rashford the other day from deep. That went perfectly for him. And he went on the score. But Rush, I want to come to you about this midfield situation. Do you agree with the block? Don't break the block, or would you go sort of a single pivot, which we did struggle with early in the season, especially against Brentford when Eriksen was playing? Came there.
Yeah, but that was with Eriksen, isn't it? I would really like to see that, but with Casemiro, who's a specialist in that role. And it's about time now that we've seen more of him.
So what do you see? Like Casemiro has games, but Tomlin's been playing really well. Eriksen maybe does need a break. Just seemed a bit lethargic the other day. What are your thoughts then in the midfield? What would you do?
I think with Scotty, we saw his limitations fully exposed last week against Man City. Of course, form has kept him in the team, and that's great. But when it comes to certain level of opposition, like, he got exposed, and so that's where we need to be careful. So Casemiro, for me, needs to start playing. We need to get him integrated. With everything he's got under his belt as well, and he's achieved, and his age, he probably isn't going to be afforded the same luxury of time as some of the others.
Yep. Fair enough. That's true. All right, we're going to come to the front three now, because these impact subs like Rashford and Martial both come back for injury. They've had in the last couple of games has been immense. I mean, they've just come on and just lit up the show. And someone even called for man of the match for Rashford yesterday, but he's come on. We've only about 20 minutes to go, He's that impactful compared to Sancho as well. So quickly, guys, touch on our forward line. Give me a little, summary on Anthony. Let me know what you think about the star man there, Martial, as a centre forward. What's been the revival of him? What's turned him around? And Rashford as well. He seems to be back on form. But then again, if you give him a run of games, maybe he'll start going back running into traffic again. What do you guys think about the front three and the selection issues we had there? Start with you, Eddie. We're going to wrap it up soon.
Right. So with Rashford, for me, he's an enigma, right? Because I don't think he played that well against. No, I don't think he played well at all, actually, against Man City. I've just got a reference the eye test with yourself and Bath Time. Bath Time was saying that Rashford was doing his job in terms of allowing them to come up with the ball, play it into the centre, which, according to Bath Time, was supposed to have some traps in the midfield because apparently Haaland doesn't have a good first touch. I mean, we saw how bad that went, yeah. So for me, I disagreed with that. I thought Rashford should have been pressing from the front to really, help us stay compact, not allow them to play through the middle. So I thought his attitude was disgusting, to be honest, in that game. But then, yeah, like we're saying against Ammonia, I think he should be man of the match. Came on, 2 goals, and remember, 1 assist as well. He assisted Martial. So it looked like he was up for that game. He needs to carry this on into the next game. And I think he's actually got like the most goal involvements. If someone can bring up stats, I think Marcus Rashford's got like most goals, most assists. I think so anyway. So yeah, I like to see him on the left there because Martial, come on, when he comes on in the midfield, the touch that he has, we saw it in pre-season already, and we've seen it when he's played these last few games. He comes on, got a sure touch to him, can dribble a little bit, can carry the ball, likes to link up. This is what Ten Hag likes, isn't it? Link up play. So Martial, yeah, I think he's going to score. I think he's going to score. He's got confidence on form. Now coming to Anthony.
Yeah,
I'm liking the 2 goals he scored already. I didn't see enough of him in the Ammonia game. Like I said, I didn't watch the whole game. I just watched the second half. But I want to see more bang for this buck. I know he's got to have time to settle in, but I want to see dribbling. I'm a guy that loves dribbling. Yeah, so I'm going to keep banging on about this until we see it. We should have the luxury eventually. I'm talking about of wingers dribbling and passing in a nice system, a nice balance of that. Like where you see at big teams like Real Madrid or Barcelona, all of that kind of stuff. But for this game, let me finish off with this. For this game, I at least want to see the aggression obviously listening to the game plan, listen to the coach, press, and just give us some energy, especially after that Man City game. That's what I want to see.
Okay, I got a comment here from Rebel. He's saying, "Hey lads, what do you think about Scholes saying Anthony's a one-trick pony?" Don't know if you saw that comment that from Scholes. Over to you, Brush. What do you think about our front three, starting with Anthony, one-trick pony Anthony? Because basically he said he can either pass it back sideways or pass it back to the defender, and he wants to see him doing more. That's his one trick. Right?
Listen, he's 22 years old. You know, there's obviously plenty of time left for him to add other things to his game. I think patience is the key. Also, the other thing, Eddie touched on something interesting there with Anthony when he said bang for buck. We need to remember that we overpaid for this player. Yeah. We shouldn't now adjust our expectations according to the inflated fee that we chose to pay for him. Like, for me, he's a £40 million player. And if you see him as that, there's no problems. But I've seen a lot of people jump out the window and they're very harsh and critical of him. And this young man's been there for what, a couple of weeks?
What about the revival of Rashford and Martial? What's going on there? You happy what you're seeing there?
Very happy. With Martial, I would say that his talent has never been in question. It's always been the form and injuries and all these other things that have affected him. But hopefully he can stay fit now, and anything we get out of him is a bonus. Marcus, I think this manager has really taken to Marcus, even when a lot of us has doubted him, and that's given him a lot of confidence.
Why are you calling him Marcus, like first name terms? I've never heard anyone call him Marcus. You know him. No, go on.
Listen, he feeds the kids, man. I like him. He's my guy. You know, when you just want people to succeed, he's one of those. I know Marcus. Like, I don't like him up front though. I'm not a big fan of when he plays up front, but if we play to his strengths, he can be a very deadly player. Yeah, you know, on the counter, play to his strengths and he will bag.
Okay, here we got a £5 donation from our Dutch correspondent Vincent, and I am coming to the comments, guys. I picked out a few comments, so hold tight, boys. We've got 20 in the comments right now. Make sure you press the like button, guys. He's saying I can't even pronounce the name. Omania, the team we played yesterday. He was interested to see why Ten Hag can't play his style yet. All the time and possession they had was wasted. Some players stuck in old ways. We're going to go to the comments now quickly. Just going to drop a few about what we've been discussing. Box is saying Palestri is hungry. He needs a good dinner. I was going to say that about you. You like dribbling, Eddie. And I was going to say wipe him out then. Pat Lawless is saying, sorry I'm late, fellas. I'm just doing some topographical surveys. That's a sort of inside joke. We will come back to our sponsor. Tottenham fan Marvin, big up Marvin. He's saying, I feel for Eric Ten Hag and any manager who's taken charge since Alex Ferguson left. It's always going to be a comparison. And to be honest, there's none with Alex Ferguson. He left a legacy that don't seem to be matched. And so did the manager in 1961. Spurs fans. HG Game is saying Sancho is in the for number 10 for Tate to replace Bruno. Hi Gopal. He's saying Iqbal over Fred against Everton. Iqbal, I love him as a player. Vincent again saying defense will be the priority over the next window. Eric Ten Hag wants ball-playing defenders that can often connect with the attacking line directly. Martinez did that brilliantly. Yeah, I agree. His man of match for me yesterday. Stuart Marshall saying I think that's the best front three we got. You see it there. Rashford on the left, Martial up top, and Anthony out wide. Box is saying I'm not convinced by long-term by Rashford. I'm convinced long-term by Martial, though. He seems to be coming into form. It's his prime years now, isn't it? Bill Badger saying, weird, Big G. I was looking at the formation and wondering how we'd do if another striker was starting and we went 4-2-4. That's interesting. Not since Fergie days. I don't think we've done that. Rashford was great yesterday, says Biggie. Let me see Biggie. Big up, Biggie. Welcome to the channel, Biggie. How you doing? Bill Badger saying, Rebel, Scholes don't watch Ajax or Brazil. He's making an assumption on the Premier League. Talking about Anthony with that comment. And Stuart Marshall saying, give Anthony time. I want to say hi to Emma as well. Emma's saying here, Scholes also said Varane wasn't a footballer, and Keane saying it was disrespectful for Ronaldo not to be playing. I believe the ex-players are just trying to stay relevant or paid to say some weird stuff. There you go, guys. So big up to HRJH Radio Sangam. He says, big up, bros. No, big up to you. How you doing, man? Welcome to the channel. Want to say hi to Ross as well. Ross says, looks like a solid team. Big up. Solo's head must be swelling right now. Let's hope complacency is not the team's downfall. And Rebel here again is saying, interesting that Eriksen is left out of the predicted 11. I think he would have been interesting if we had him in the Bruno's role. That's been said a lot lately.
Can I just say quickly, like that's an interesting comment from, was it Rebel, that last one?
Yeah, that was Rebel, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously for Ten Hag, he's calling out for finesse in the creative role, especially if we stay with 110. Yeah, we need someone that can really, because Eriksen's passing is better than Bruno. So if he ends up there, then I'm not surprised. And then someone was saying possibly Sancho. We've seen how good he is in terms of link-up play. You know what I mean? Just linking up with players, doing little dribbles, not with pace. It's weird. Maybe we might see him converted into maybe an infield player. That would be good. And then just the last one on what Bill Badger was saying, 4-2-4. I'm sorry, but we need a prayer to make that work, because think of the gaps in midfield. We just get turned over maybe 6-3 every game if we did that.
In this day and age, it's risky business. That.
Yeah.
Do you think football's evolved? Is that what you're saying? Because do you think formations from the past can't like test these formations today? Do you think football does evolve, or do you think it just goes around in cycles? Before you answer that, I'm just going to go to our sponsor again. This is GMS, Global Mapping Surveys. As we know, we're sponsored by them now. Global Mapping Surveys currently assist architects, property developers, and construction companies all over the country. They offer a wide range of services, such as setting out topographical surveys, which Pat Lawless does, 3D laser scanning, monitoring, and the link is in the description for all the website details. So big up, guys. Any other business, guys, before we go on? I want a score line as well. Do you think we're going to win? There's 24 in the comments. Make sure you press the like button. I'm asking you guys as well. What's the score? What's the score going to be? Are we going to beat Everton away from home and prove that we're back to winning ways? Start with you, Brush.
I'm going to go yes. I'm going to go 2-1.
Nice one. And Eddie, wrap it up.
You took the words out of my mouth. You said 2-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's got to be a win. It's got to be anything. It's got to be a win. It can't be anything but a win. But I think Everton, because they're stubborn and they had to have this best defense record, they're going to be feeling themselves and have the confidence. So I think it's going to be a close one. Yeah, 2-1.
Stuart Marshall saying Sancho in the 10 roll is a good shout, so he believes with you. I want to say hi to one of my most rated panelists or guests, and that's Super Nick. Super Nick's proved her worth. She gets the badge, the stamp of approval from me. Super Nick, respect, girl, because you know your football. She's saying peace and blessings to the panel in the chat. And someone else who, Big G, is saying here, it's not the same as when Pat does it. Perfect advert talker. That's right. Talking about the topographical survey. And there we go. That's a third 2-1 from Stuart Marshall. He believes it's going to be a win as well. It's going to be tough, but let's get through this game. Last words from you guys. We're signing out. Brush, anything to say to the people in the Man United agenda? Anything to say about what's happening with the team? Are you excited? And just quick, I did ask you guys, do you think football's evolved as well? That was the thing, because someone mentioned Man City is the best team we've ever seen in the Premiership.
It's difficult to break down so quickly. I'm not sure.
You got 10 seconds.
I'm not sure if evolution is the word that I would use. I would say I would replace that with mutated. Because not everything that comes after is necessarily an improvement. It's just changed over time. Because, I grew up watching football before GA. The likes of a Rui Costa and Zinedine Zidane. I didn't need like 10 goals and assists to tell me they're fantastic players. Whereas now, flair players, especially in the Premier League, they really suffer. The coaches try and coach you out of that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just about to say that. Sorry, I was just going to say, I agree with that last point that Brush made. With the I don't know if it's evolution. It's
a mutation, bro. It's a mutation.
Okay, we're going mutation. With the mutation of systems coming into the game, it's like sometimes efficiency is improved with passing and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah. I'm like I've said already, I'm a guy that likes dribbling, man. This is what really attracted me to
wipe him out. Fucking telling you, wipe him out.
So yeah, we see less of the dribbling, all that kind of stuff. I mean, Brush mentioned, was it Rui Costa? And I think he said Zidane. These were some dribbling.
These weren't the numbers, guys.
Yeah. So I think we lose a bit of flair with the new game. I was going to say something else. It's gone for now, but
Don't worry about it.
No, I've got it. It's come here. We're going to wrap up now, but anyway, just to finish up, I think this is the time, because we've seen how we tried to counter-attack Man City and it went horribly wrong, and we know Ten Hag is not a counter-attack guy. I think this is, even if we lose, I may get shot down for this. I think we've got to go. Ten Hag has got to go with his philosophy. Force these guys into it. I remember Ten Hag's very first press conference where he's saying the players will dictate how we play. I'm sorry, but we've got to see the evolution of this team be a possession and high press. He's got to force it into these guys. He's got some of his players now anyway, really. I mean, what is it, 4 or 5 signings? Press these guys into your high press. That's what I got to finish on.
Listen, I hear that, but it's a results-based game, and you have to work with what you've got until you can bring in your own. So, I think it will take a lot longer for us to really see his stamp on this team.
Okay. I don't want to see completely the result, because I know it's not going to happen. I just want to see some fundamentals. I'll say that. Yeah.
That's what we're looking for from game to game, isn't it? Just little patterns that we can notice. Step in the right direction.
I personally think we're seeing that already. Even against Man City, I saw enough to say if it would have clicked, we could have scored more goals and scored first as well. But that's how it goes. I think, like you said, they're more drilled and trained than us, or mutated than us, as you said. And I loved how he worded that. That was really good. Football's a great game, isn't it? It does mutate, it does evolve, but it always goes round. There's only 11 players. It doesn't change that much. I think teams of the past would be interested to see how they fared up, because especially when what made me say that is the 4-2-4, that sort of system, because it would really suffocate teams, especially teams who play a high line today. That'd be interesting to see. It would be like a 10-10 sort of game. But anyway, I hope we beat Everton. I think we can beat Everton. And once we get, and I'm more confident after speaking to you two lads today on the show. So thanks for joining us again. I know you'll be back, and we really do appreciate you guys. And we more appreciate the people in the comments as well. There are a lot of people in today, so big up, guys. That's why we went on a bit longer. Love you all. See you on Sunday, because we'll be on my couch. That'll be me, Paddy, Mr. B, and Errol, and we'll be doing a live watch along from my sofa right here. So big up, guys. Have a nice weekend, and we'll see you Sunday.
Take care.